So I just met David Schwartz. I didn't want to stick a camera in his face. I just asked him my question. Is what Ripple built a financial system wherein a unit of account, transition of a decentralized ledger through the means of exchange, XRP is either money processor or gas to convert? He said, yes, you can consider those things a financial system. Job done.
Hey, what's going on, bull runners? Welcome back to the channel. Have you ever wondered who really is pulling the strings in the crypto world? Behind the headlines, the deals, the massive money moves, there's a shadow game being played, and most of us are just pawns. They don't want you to know this, but right now, you are watching the biggest financial revolution in history unfolding. It's hidden in plain sight, encoded in the blockchain transactions, tokenized assets, and numbers that could change your life. But here's the catch. If you don't act fast, you'll be left behind wondering why you missed the greatest wealth transfer of our time. Today, we're ripping the curtain off several massive crypto stories that scream one thing. The game is changing, and it's changing right now. From Robinhood's sneaky $200 million power grab to Dubai putting trillions of real estate on the blockchain and an economic boom that could skyrocket prices, something big is definitely brewing. The problem, the elites are already positioning themselves to profit while most people are still scrolling, clueless. But don't worry, I've got you covered. Stick with me for the next few minutes and I'll break it all down for you in plain English, why these moves matter, and how you could make it an advantage for your portfolio. And here's the kicker. If you stick with us until the end, I'm going to give you exclusive sneak peek into our Altcoin Pro University, our exclusive crypto community and training courses. Trust me, you don't want to miss that. Plus, we'll be jumping over to X to find out all the breaking news happening in the financial markets today. We'll take a look at Forex Factory and find out all the important red folder news that you need to know about in the financial markets this week. We'll do a deeper dive into Robinhood's $200 million acquisition and so much more in today's video. And also, don't forget to head over to X, follow us, BULLRUNNERS at BULLRUNNERS HQ. We are giving away $100 worth of XRP every single week. Congratulations to Brad Meese for winning our previous XRP giveaway. We do give that away every Sunday night, so you got all week to get there. All you got to do is follow us on X, like, retweet, and comment XRP, and subscribe to our daily crypto newsletter by clicking the link right here. Plus, we will be jumping into the XRP charts at the end of the video, and I'm going to show you guys how to find support and resistance zones. But first, let's head over to CoinMarketCap and check out the overall health of the crypto market today. Crypto market cap, total market cap coming at $3.34 trillion, up 1.11% already today. So this is fantastic news because we did set a new higher low as of May 30th, 2025, traded sideways, but we are finally starting to push to the upside, making a break above 3.53 trillion will make us a new higher high as well. Could we get to that $3.6 trillion total market cap? Remember our all-time high total market cap, $3.72 trillion. In the last 24 hours, we have had $109 billion worth of trading volume. Fear and greed index coming in at 58. Yesterday is a 57. Last week a 68. So we are starting to make that move towards more confidence in the market. Altcoin season taking a little jump up here, 25 out of 100. Last week it was sitting at less than 24. We are still in full-on Bitcoin season. Bitcoin dominance has come down. It's at 63.3% right now. The initial reports coming into the Bitcoin ETF tracker, minus 87 million, but it is still early. Those reports will run all night, so we'll check back on that one tomorrow morning. And if you guys remember, we were pumping extremely hard into the ETFs for multiple weeks in a row, but last week was our first negative week, minus $71 million outflows to the Bitcoin ETF. Already starting off this week with preliminary reports at $87,000 to the downside. As you've probably seen in the charts already today, though, Bitcoin is making a move to the upside. So we'll find out this week, are we going to have a massive pump recovery into the Bitcoin price? Top 5 cryptos by total market cap. Number 1, Bitcoin at $106,000. Number 2, Ethereum at $2,600. Number 3, Tether at $1. Number 4, XRP at $2.21. Number 5, BNB at $672. And number 6, Solana at $161. Taking a look at Forex Factory for our important news this week. This morning, there were 2 massive news pieces that were coming out, which was the manufacturing PMI It was unfortunately not a great number. Our forecast was 49.3. It came under at 48.5. And then Fed Chair Powell came out and spoke. I mean, the speech was like 10 or 15 minutes, not very long. I watched it. Nothing important that came out of his mouth, unfortunately. So it did not really affect the markets, which is a positive thing. But we are still waiting for the next FOMC meeting for him to finally reduce interest rates. As you know, by watching him and watching Trump, they do not like each other. It is definitely a duel back and forth between those two. And Powell does not want to lower rates just out of spite of Trump, unfortunately. But tomorrow we will have the JOLTS job openings. Then on Wednesday, we have non-farm employment change. And the big one that we always watch out for is on Thursdays, the unemployment claims. That is always, if it's a positive number, it really helps Bitcoin move to the upside. And then on Friday, we're also going to have average hourly earnings, non-farm employment change, and the unemployment rate. So we'll keep you updated every day these come out. Make sure you subscribe today. So as we talked about in the intro, at over $600 trillion, real estate is one of the world's most valuable asset classes, and now it is on chain, starting with Dubai's title deed tokenization built on XRP Ledger. Hey, bull runners, are you feeling FOMO about this bull run without the right financial support? We're here to change that. We're not just about funding, we're about growing your business together. Whether you're investing in crypto, kicking off a new startup, managing your existing business, or looking to expand, we have personalized funding that meets your exact needs. Imagine starting your business or getting capital to invest $100,000 to $250,000 at 0% interest. That's not a dream, it's what we do. We've helped countless entrepreneurs like you with 0% interest funding without needing personal funds, income verification, or collateral. With just a 680 credit score, you qualify. We understand that your business can't wait, so take advantage of our quick funding approach. We look beyond the credit score with inclusive approval process that sees the big picture of your business or investment potential. Our flexible repayments are tailored to match your business cycles, ensuring you can manage repayments without strain. With access to our extensive lending network of over 5,000 options, we're committed to finding the perfect match for your business or investing needs. Plus, you'll have our dedicated team by your side, guiding you through every step of the funding journey. Whether it's buying crypto, hiring new employees, or launching a new product, we're committed to your success. Click the link to connect with our expert advisors and secure your business's future now. Also, breaking news, IG Group, a UK-listed financial giant, launches retail crypto trading, offering access to 31 digital assets, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. Crypto adoption in traditional markets continues to accelerate. And in a wild change of events, Atlanta Fed is now projecting Q2 GDP will be plus 4.6%, a massive expansion. So with numbers like these, Jerome Powell is going to have to consider the interest rate cut. And this number coming out is reflecting a robust economic expansion, likely driven by policy shifts like tariffs, which is interesting because the Federal Reserve said tariffs are going to be the downfall of the United States. And unfortunately for them, they were wrong. JP Morgan's research team said that they were going to have a 0.2% GDP reduction in 2025, but the Atlanta Fed's new forecast suggests that tariffs may be a positive short-term effect, possibly by boosting domestic production and altering trade dynamics. Just in, BitGo partners with Vivo Power to facilitate its $100 million XRP acquisition for Treasury strategy. As you know, we talked about this a couple of days ago with Vivo Power about to do a treasury, just like how Strategy does with Bitcoin, but they are going to be doing it with XRP, and BitGo is going to be helping them do this. And Layer GG has come out with their June 2025 crypto calendar. As we can see today, the Fed Powell speaks. Tomorrow, Tuesday, the JOLTS job openings. Also, Korean presidential election is going on. Binance Alpha Perp listing will be happening for BDXN tomorrow. Cow, new core mechanism. On Wednesday, U.S. tariffs on steel will be shifting and aluminum will be shifting from 25 to 50%. And as we talked about earlier today, the U.S. Fed Powell speaks, EDGEN, Binance Alpha, Bithumb, WEMIX delisting, Upbit, deadline for XEM, STMX delisting review. Also, FTX repayment excluding the United States, so more people getting money back from their FTX bags, and ENA $12 million unlock. So if you're holding ENA, watch out for the prices on those token unlocks. And as I've been telling you guys about for quite some time, right now everybody wants the crypto markets to pump, but you got to do some logical thinking. Number one, credit cards are at all-time high defaults. Mortgages, all-time high defaults, meaning people can't pay their bills. Now take a look at this. $698 billion worth of homes are for sale in the United States, a new all-time high. And if you guys are not familiar, I am a real estate agent in Southern California, Orange County. I do buy, sell, lease for homes and also help investors buy and sell their projects. Right now, more homes are flooding the market than ever before, but no one wants to buy them. Investors are coming out for sure to buy. They're buying with cash. They're buying significantly under market value because they have to. But your traditional home buyer that gets a regular mortgage doesn't care, right? We have high interest rates, unfortunately, for mortgages. Plus, those people don't have a bunch of extra money sitting on the sidelines to put down for a 20% down payment. Plus, houses are valued at the highest levels than they've ever been valued. So they don't want to buy, just like Bitcoin. You don't want to buy the top unless you know that it's going to keep going up. People don't want to buy houses right now because they're afraid values will start to come down and they will have bought the top of the biggest purchase of their entire life. And as you saw in the intro video, that was from Vincent Scott. And he says, for those of you that need it in print, the biggest news from the XRP Las Vegas was this: confirmed, Ripple built a financial system by @JoelKatz, which is David Schwartz. And it's just the question that he asked. Plenty of people deduce this over time. However, confirmation is a horse of a different color. Crazy it's not front page Ripple news. And that is in reference to this video right here that we showed you in the intro of the video. And happy 13th birthday, XRP. June 2nd, 2025 is their 13th birthday. And Monica Long has come out and said banks are no longer asking if they should tokenize, they're asking how. And of course, Monica Long, Ripple's president, highlights a shift in banking attitudes towards tokenization, stating banks are now focused on how to tokenize rather than if, signaling growing acceptance of blockchain solutions like XRP and cross-border payments. And as you can see in the markets, if you've been watching right now, when you're watching this, it may have already happened, but per CoinGlass, $11.5 billion in shorts could be wiped out if price hits 111,009. which is basically its all-time high. On some different charts on different exchanges, 112,000 has already been hit. But will the bulls or bears win this week? And as you can see, this huge move, all these people right here are shorting the market because they thought it was going to continue to go down. As you know, these exchanges love to hunt out that liquidity and liquidate people, like you saw with the guy with the hyper liquid trade that ended up getting liquidated for $80 million. So let's talk about this Robinhood acquisition of Bitstamp for $200 million, expanding their institutional crypto offerings. After this, we'll jump straight into the charts. Bitstamp is now part of Robinhood app. Together, we're combining 14 years of trusted crypto experience with Robinhood's global vision, expanding access and building the future of crypto together. Bitstamp serves over 5,000 institutional clients and 50,000 retail customers. Robinhood said in a separate June 2nd statement that the acquisition significantly expands its crypto footprint beyond the US into European, UK, and Asian markets. Robinhood also agreed to acquire Canadian crypto platform WonderFi for approximately $179 million on May 13th as part of the move to strengthen its presence in Canadian market. Robinhood crypto general manager Jonathan Kerber told CNBC on June 2nd that the firm hasn't ruled out the possibility of more crypto acquisitions. If we can find a way to accelerate by at least 18 months or 2 years, we have a lot of great reason to believe this is a great acquisition. It's something that we'll definitely look at. Tokenization is Robinhood's next crypto focus. A key focus for Robinhood CEO Tenev is to expand crypto's offering into real-world asset tokenization, and tokenizing private equities is a huge unlock for both individuals and companies that can solve a lot of problems in secondary market transactions, Tenev said in Robinhood's first quarter earnings call. All right, so taking a look at XRP in the chart, we've actually had a pretty significant boost to the upside already in this new candle. We're currently sitting at $2.21. And it's interesting when you take a look at the market and the candles, what happened here. So on May 31st, we had a significant drop all the way down to $2.07, with the bulls buying that back up extremely hard and then finishing that candle green. The next day, the bulls tried to sell it down again all the way to 212. Bulls bought it back up, turning it green again. Then on June 2nd, the bears once again tried to sell this price down, but the bulls come roaring back to the upside, finishing another solid green candle to the upside. And now today's candle already starting initially to the upside, only 3 hours in, and it's definitely pushing to the upside. What we were talking about, though, several days ago, price needs to break above the 10 exponential moving average on the daily, which is currently sitting at $2.23. That's step number one. Step number two, we then break above these 30 and 50 exponential moving averages here at $2.28. Then I believe that we will definitely feel the momentum kicking in at that point. Now, the reality is with this candle, with what's happening with Bitcoin today, we could see a nice surge for XRP to the upside. The only problem that we've been following along with is right now, our long-term momentum wave has flashed below the zero line, and we are currently running red. We are running bearish on the long-term momentum. Even though you can see prices going up nicely, it's not going up like we've seen in the past with huge volume candles. Now, the bulls are buying out the bears at least, so that's positive. But as we can see on our short-term momentum wave, we are still flat down here at the zero, and it's been 1, 2, 3, 4 days, and we have not seen a tick to the upside yet. Once we see the tick to the upside, it's going to be very positive for the bulls in the XRP scenario, because last time we were flattened out, zeroed, we made a significant move to the upside. It was a 50-cent move, but we were actually trading in the bull zone. We were completely green at that time for the long-term momentum. Right now, we're in bear zone. We are probably 2-3 days away from crossing back over that zero line. So we will need consistent moves to the upside on the daily candles to do that. And we need to break above this 30 and 50 moving average as well. So reality, what we're looking at numbers wise, the easiest thing to keep in mind, we need to break $2.28. And look at this. We just got a flash of a green arrow to the upside. So that is a very positive. And we've got a hidden bullish divergence happening at the same exact time right now. Now, this is not official confirmation. And we just got a tick to the upside on our short-term momentum wave for the dailies. These all just happened. This is at the initial kickoff. When you're watching this video, it'll be at a different time, but you can check your own charts. This is the shaft trend cycle. We are using the 10 and the 30 as far as moving average times. And this is the Wolfpack indicator, same thing. If for some reason we have a pullback, then all of this turns off. But if we continue moving this momentum up to this level here, $2.23, 10 exponential moving average, break through that, we are looking really good. It could happen in one candle like we saw here. But like I said, right now we are in the red zone for XRP. But what I wanted to show you is how to find supply and demand, how to find supply and demand as far as your charts go. This works on every single coin, every single instrument. You're trading stocks, bonds, indices, does not matter. This is a secret that I've learned, and it works very, very well. So first and foremost, what you do is you're going to go to your charts. And right now, we're going to do it on this really large time frame of the daily to start us off. And what you'll do is you'll switch your candles to the Heikinashi candles, okay? We're going to switch to Heikinashi candles here. We're going to go ahead and turn off all of the drawings that we have, and just like that. So first and foremost, we want to find the top and the bottom of the range. And the easiest thing to do when it comes to supply and demand is using the Heikinashis. And the reason why is because it's the smoother candles, right? So you can see how they move in patterns. They stay green or red longer. So right now, what we want to do is find our bodied candles. We're looking at bodies, not the wicks. The wicks are important too, but the lowest bodied candle right now is this red candle right here. Okay, so that is going to be the bottom of our range. And you can see prices actually dipped into this section multiple times, and that is the bottom of our range. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to find the highest candle, the highest green candle body to the upside, which would be right here. So you follow this up. This green bodied candle is higher than this one in all of these. So that is our supply and demand candle right there. Okay, so now Supply is up here. So when price gets here, it might sell off to the downside. Demand is down here because every time it gets to this zone, it starts to buy back to the upside as we've seen here. So now we know that our demand zone is that $1.97 range. That's the top to $1.77. And our supply zone is 305 to 329. So when we get to this level, it is potential that we have a lot of people that want to sell at this level, take profits and exit the market. Price could come down. When price gets down into this level, we know that a lot of people want to buy. People think that this is a great value for XRP. Under $2, buy it up to the upside, as they say. And this works very well for long-term swing trading, so on and so forth. In fact, if we take a look here, there is a scenario. What if we lose this crazy supply and demand zone right here of $1.97 to $1.77? Well, let's go look at the run up that we had. So the run up from the 50s, the 50-cent range, there was only one daily candle stop before the next move to the upside, and it was right here. Let's go ahead and do this one right there. Now, this would be an amazing supply zone as well, $1.45, $1.28. Now, hopefully for our sake, the bull run is here. We don't ever see those ranges until potentially a bear market in the future. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. So those are some zones. That's how you find it. Now, let's go look at this on Bitcoin. So we'll go back in history a little bit here to this run up from when we left at 68,000 and we made this big push to the upside. And you can see we had a small pullback, leaving this red candle right here. The red candle, the last red candle before the next up move, last red candle before the next up move, last red candle, and so on. But this is the candle right here. And then when we take a look at this zone, we'll see that when price gets here, it tends to get into a battle, right? So up or down, up or down. It doesn't reject. And interestingly enough, from this last pullback to the 76s and our run to the upside, look what we had. We had one of the stall outs right in that zone, okay? So right now, I'm going to eliminate this, though, because we're not running those zones anymore. Those are in the past. What we're going to do, though, is we're going to find the lowest zone, which is for Bitcoin, the most recent low, which is this red candle right here. And that gives us the 80,000 to 76,000. And then we're going to find our highest bodied candle, which is right here. And that's our upper level. So we are going to see, like even in the past, you see when it hit this zone, it rejected off this, it hit the zone, rejected, and just recently finally had our new all-time high. And right now we're getting back to that level. So if we look here on the daily charts, we can see price is going to get back to this level right here at 106,005 or 106,870, and it's going to have a potential struggle breaking that zone. Once it breaks it, though, there's going to be some great momentum that it can get itself back up into that $112,000 range. That's traditional candle. Let's go ahead and switch back to Heikinashi's because there were a couple of interesting scenarios here playing out. If for some reason we do stall out and it doesn't continue to new all-time highs, long-term momentum's bullish, short-term momentum reset to zero, there is some great signs that we could see a blast off to the upside. Like we saw right here. Look at this. Last time it reset to zero completely. This was not a full reset to zero, and this was not. This was a full reset to zero on Bitcoin. That was at 80,000 on this run up all the way until it had a pullback a little bit here. Got us from 80 up to 94,000. So if we see the same scenario happen here, we'll watch over the next 24 hours. This breaks to the upside. What's a $10,000 move here? $116,000. But anyway, we have some interesting zones that if we start to fall back, one is here, and you can see price came back and hit this exact zone before going to the upside. There's also one right here that we could watch if we lose this zone. So if we start to get real weak in this zone, we break down, we lose this level here at 103, then it may come down and drop into this level down here at the $95,000 level. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Now, as you all know, I've been talking about Ethereum looking bullish right now. I mean, this is the one that looks the most bullish. It didn't even have a pullback. It's doing this crazy bull flag. In fact, let's go ahead and measure this out, because if this breaks out, let's do a trend line here, turn the magnet off. We use the tops of the candles right there, okay? And then we're going to use this one right here at the bottom. This will be the flag pole. And we put it where it breaks out. It'll probably break out up here because you can see right here, it's a day or two away from breakout, unless we had this crazy candle like we did over here. But the reality is, if we look at this bull flag playing out to the upside, we're looking at a 35.76, so $3,500 price for Ethereum. I mean, that's pretty realistic. It could have that secondary move. Look at this move here, bull flagged out, boom, out, boom, that next level. But let's take a look at supply and demand. So if we take a look at the past highs, it's going to be this candle right here. The highest bodied candle will be this candle right here. Oh, I have to turn my magnet back on. Delete that. Right here, this candle. Okay, so this is what we're looking for. Eventually, price get back to 38.55. It's going to have a struggle when it tries to break through that level, but that's okay. And then if we had some sort of scenario, black swan, everything starts to crash again, then we could see a 1590 to 1500 to the downside. We will have an interference point right here before that happens, though. This will catch it at 1820, 1788. And then what you'll notice right now, you see this price continues to strike and strike and strike and strike and try to break this level. But what do we have here, right? So price came down, then it had these green candles up, this interruption before the down and then an up and then the down. So this green candle right here is the last green candle before the down move. And we're going to highlight that one. And as we can see, it continues to hit right there. And there's a ton of people selling, taking profit at this level. But also what's really important to notice, though, is even though every time it gets there, it sells off, it's not having an extreme pullback to the downside. It's just right here. There's enough people buying this price, even though there's a ton of selling going on, there's enough buyers here to prevent it from coming all the way down. So once we do break this level, 28.65 is going to be that level that it needs to break. That'll give us some confidence that we'll be heading to our next level to the upside. Our next level upside is here, 31.64 to 34.37. Okay, so this one has some more opportunities of supply and demand on the way up. Let's look at Pepe next. All right, so Pepe, similar scenario to what Ethereum had, but you can see how Ethereum has had that third consecutive drive to the high while Pepe fell off. But it's starting to battle back. Pepe's long-term momentum wave is still green. That short-term momentum wave has not flipped back to the upside yet, but that's okay. So let's take a look. On the drop here, supply and demand. Right here, last green candle before the down drop of the red. Then we had this green candle before the drop in the red. And then we had this green candle right here before the drop. And then it gets real choppy. We're not down these levels right now. We've moved up. So we'll go ahead and we're here. Let's just do that one more. Okay. So that way, these are important key levels, how to find supply and demand. There we go. So right now we're pulling back a little bit. If price were to reach this level here, quad 0.1038, that would be okay because there's a potential that it fights back from there. But the reality is price wants to move to the upside on all the charts right now. So if we see price start to come up, we need to see it break above quad 0.1478. And then it has to have continuation. So you can see last time it broke through, it failed. Continuation would be a second green candle in a row. Okay, so we need a second green candle in a row to do that. So we're going to push through quad 0.1483, second green candle. Then we can look for quad 0.1818. And then it's going to get in this supply and demand zone battle. To get out of that, it then becomes quad 0.2103. And if it breaks through that, well, then it can get back to these highs, which is going to be the all-time high candle here for Pepe, putting us at these levels here. The entry into that zone, it's a pretty large zone because we're dealing with daily charts here. I'm going to show you something even better. Okay. So when I'm looking for more of a pinpoint spot, we want a smaller time frame. We're going to delete this daily because this is such a massive number. So you can go down 5 minute, 1 minute time frame even. Okay. But we're going to use 1 hour. So it gives us a little bit of flexibility here. We're going to find the all-time high. And you can see when it got up to the all-time high here, it left us this perfect candle. It did have a wick that was higher, but this right here is our top candle. So you can see even when price pushed and pushed and pushed, failed, finally pushed up into that zone. So now that's what we're looking for. We're looking for price to push all the way up to that level right there. So quad 02710. And we can even do that with this one right here, because daily is a great way to find for long term, right? So let's go ahead and mark this as our daily candle. The candle next to it is the supply and demand zone candle, but we want to break it down to a smaller time frame. So now we'll mark that so we know where it is in the charts. So we'll go back here. Boom. Okay. That is great. And this whole thing right here was the daily supply and demand zone, but now we've got it on the hourly charts, and you can see we have a much more refined space. So we're going to delete this, and we're going to highlight just the hourly candle. And so you can even see price rejected off, or price came down, and then it tried to push up and rejected off that zone and then continue down. So now when we look at this on the daily, we were on the 1 hour. This was our daily area. It was this huge piece, but now that we've got it on the 1 hour only, you can see how much smaller of a supply and demand zone is. So this is where we're looking for price to get back into, is right here, which is the quad 01429. It helps minimize the error. Price is going to be more likely to get into a tighter range there. So let's go back to XRP and do the same exact thing. Okay, so right now, we're just going to go from where we're at in price. This is the bottom and then the top. So these are our two that are in the range right now, and we're going to use those. And we're going to drop this down to we're going to go real small. We're going to go to the 5-minute charts. We're going to go to the lowest point possible. So this one right here is going to be the lowest of the low. All right, so here is where we made the lowest of the low that we were talking about. And then you can see where this candle, or this line that we put in there, which is May 6th, okay? So this would be the lowest 5-minute candle. That's where we got supply and demand. And I'll bet you somewhere in the future, it hits it again. So let's go take a look. If it had a pullback, oh, take a look at that. Look at where that hit. Is that pretty spot on or what? Okay, so we know we've hit the bottom of the range. Now we need to go find the top of the range. So what we found there was that bottom, right? So this was the bottom range right here. Price came back and touched it right here on May 31st. Now we need to find the top of the range. So we're going to move this to the high candle. So that'll help me find it. Because when you switch from the daily to the 5-minute, you have to scroll back forever to find that candle. All right, so we found the candle. And this was on the daily, so somewhere in here was the high. Let's go ahead and delete that. So where is the highest one? It would be right here. So this is our highest 5-minute candle right here. Boom. Okay, oh, that wasn't it. It moved right there, just that one candle. Great, so now price came down, kept trying to push higher, unfortunately rejected. Into the future, it missed and missed. It pushed higher into that range, rejected. So you can see that this is where supply is happening, starting to sell off. And then we'll switch from the 5-minute to the 4 hours, and then you'll be able to see that we've hit the top and bottom of the range, which is right here, the bottom and the top. So this is where we're looking for prices to move to. So we're looking for price to come all the way back up to this $2.61. When you're looking at the daily chart, that would be the bottom to the top. Now, this is an interesting spot that we're going to run into some turbulence, this daily candle right here, because as the move's up, it's going to run into resistance in this level. So let's go ahead and put this here. We'll go to the 4-hour charts, and you can see all of this interference, right? So this was coming down, and it chopped sideways, and then it finally came down. So there's a whole lot of supply and demand zones on the way down. So we are going to run into potentially lots of resistance on the way up, because it was giving us a lot of fight on the way down. It wasn't just a drop. It wasn't like this one where it's just a pump to the upside. It was a bar fight, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And then finally the bulls gave up and the bears won. So now that we've broken this level, our next level to the upside where price is going to come on these 4-hour charts is going to be here. $2.2660, $2.266 right there. And then after that, it needs to break above these levels. Let's even drop it to the 1 hour, make it smaller. So here's one right here. So see this drop right here in this last red candle? This will be interference. This last red before the move to the upside. So we're almost there as far as price goes. We'll switch back to traditional candles and take a look at this. On this 1 hour chart, it didn't even make it there yet. It will make it there. It just had, look at, I mean, it's just been pumping. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 consecutive green candles to the upside. And it's been fighting bears the whole time. You can look at these wicks. Pushed, wick down. This is a good one. Pushed, wick down. Pushed, wick down. Pushed, wick down. This is a good one. But finally getting to a level where the bears are getting some confidence. We'll see. We get back to this hourly 10 exponential moving average and then shoot back to the upside. But regardless, what we're looking for is 2266 as a potential resistance. After it breaks through this level, then I will see it coming to the 1 hour exponential 1100 exponential moving average of $2.27. And then we'll regroup and you'll watch this video. I'll make another one for you guys tomorrow. Make sure you subscribe and we'll continue showing you some different techniques.
Hey, bull runners, check this out. If you want to learn how to find the next 10x, 50x, or even 100x altcoin in this video, listen to this. Our research team posted GOAT on the 13th of October of 2024 when it was right at a penny, and since then it rallied to over $1 and is currently still up over 5,000%. That's like turning $1,000 into over $50,000. Our team called Pendle at only a $16 million market cap or 16 cents back on February 18th of 2023, all the way back here, and since then it's rallied up over 4,000%. That's a 40x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $40,000. Our team also called BitTensor Tau September 15th, 2022, before the token was ever even launched. And since then, Tau has rallied over 2,000%. That's a 20x. Our team even said Solana is most likely to be one of the easiest trades next year, and this was posted December 29th, 2022, on the day that Solana bottomed out at around $8. And since then, Solana looks like it's up over 2,500%. That's a 25x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $25,000. And the bull run is just getting started. The list goes on and on and on. Our team called Sui, Ondo, and even some of the biggest cult-based meme coins like MOG back in July 20th of 2023, the day that MOG launched. So if you want to learn how our team is finding these altcoins before they explode, we just launched Altcoin Pro University, where our research team gives you real-time altcoin picks with explosive potential for this bull run, along with 100+ expert curated classes crafted by industry experts to discover these gems yourself, on top of our live weekly calls every single week for in-depth crypto market analysis and daily updates. And that's just a fraction of what we offer inside of Altcoin Pro University. Just go through the link in the description below, get in right now, watch the 26-minute video covering everything that Altcoin Pro University offers,